Hola, ¿cómo están, my compañeros? Here I want to show you what polyethylene glycol looks like, and I want to show you that it is in the Pfizer vaccine. First, let's check out what it looks like.
Mixed together like spaghetti in there.
Also, as you're watching this, in the bottom of the screen, I'm going to pull up a page that shows why they even put it in there.
And it still just looks like a liquid, but on the molecular scale there's very long chains of molecules in there all linked together. And so what that does is if you pour the liquid that has already come out starts pulling the other liquid out, and it just keeps pulling it, and it essentially pours itself. Okay, I'm going to tilt it a little, get it started. It should just pull itself out after that. Here we go. That's so cool.
You can see that the surface tension of this liquid is extremely unique. It's the exact same thing that allows for them to make these little nano bubbles. It's like a little tiny bubble with a void inside that they can put things in. The thing is, as you'll see, they are macrophage resistant. So it's hard for your body to clear these polyethylene glycol nanocapsules.
Barely pour it.
It stays inside of you.
It coming out.
Stealth. It's stealth.
Look at that.
So that's polyethylene glycol.
Just up and over the end.
There are some that say that polyethylene glycol is not in the Pfizer vaccine, but I can prove that it is. You've got to watch this little video. It's pretty interesting. It shows them moving around. That's just a still picture. This right here is information pertaining to the polyethylene glycol antibody response. It's where your body begins to attack those little those little capsulates. Finally, it's like, oh wait, there is something, and so it starts to attack that little tiny capsule, which is probably for the best. They do need to be cleared out of your system. It's interesting how they call it stealth technology. That's the sort of terminology they used initially upon discovery of the nanoparticle or the nanocapsulate, and the fact that the surface tension is what's special. It allows for that little tiny void inside. I bet they just have to shake it up really hard. Anyways, I was trying to figure out what vaccine has polyethylene glycol in it, and I was able to come across some documentation that the FDA advisory board went over. I'll include all the links. They have quite a bit of documentation. It goes for quite a while. This particular document is the FDA briefing document for the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. And you can see in the list of ingredients, we can see it says the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is an off-white, sterile, preservative-free, frozen suspension of intramuscular injection. The vaccine contains a nucleoside-modified messenger, RNA, encoding the viral spike glycoprotein of SARS coronavirus 2. The vaccine also includes the following ingredients. It includes lipids. The second ingredient is polyethylene glycol. There are quite a few more ingredients that I would have a difficult time pronouncing. Potassium chloride, monobasic potassium phosphate, sodium chloride, dibasic sodium phosphate dihydrate, and a little bit of sucrose. So that proves absolutely that what we just witnessed, that goopy goop, that's absolutely in the Pfizer vaccine, at least. I don't want YouTube to think that I'm saying every single vaccine in the world. I just want to ensure that people know it's that Pfizer, that biotech. This particular little snippet I came across was it was super worrying, because it's what we all have been thinking. This form is development, authorization, and licensure of vaccines to prevent COVID-19. And you can see this part right here. I will go ahead and read it. The guidance also explains that a key safety concern for COVID-19 vaccine is the potential vaccine-induced respiratory disease. That is, vaccine-induced enhanced respiratory disease, when a vaccine recipient are subsequently exposed to the wild-type SARS coronavirus 2. So that first sentence is pretty much in a nutshell what most of us have been worrying about. We're saying, hey, if we're producing this spike, what happens when we come across it in the real world? And they're putting that warning out there that the guidance also explains that a key safety concern for the COVID-19 vaccine is the potential for the vaccine-induced enhanced respiratory disease when vaccine recipients are subsequently exposed to the wild-type SARS-CoV-2. Enhanced respiratory disease associated with the human coronavirus SARS and MERS has thus far been demonstrated only in animal models of SARS coronavirus 1 and MERS coronavirus, and has been characterized by the Th2 biased immune response resulting in ionocephalic immune pathology. The guidance includes recommendations on how to assess the potential of vaccine-induced enhanced respiratory disease for COVID-19 vaccine candidates according to available scientific evidence relevant to the product. They're saying don't rush to judgment. If somebody happens to die from it, don't rush to judgment. It goes on to say, in addition, the FDA has provided advice to individual sponsors regarding the data and information needed to support the issuance of the EUA Emergency Use Authorization for investigational vaccines to prevent COVID-19. For example, the FDA has explained that sponsors should submit data from at least one well-designed Phase 3 clinical trial to support a determination by FDA and this investigational vaccine benefits outweigh the risk. FDA has also provided detailed advice for sponsors regarding the clinical safety data and manufacturing information that should be included in an EUA request for COVID-19 vaccine. A summary of the FDA's previous advice to sponsors regarding potential EUA request is provided below as Appendix 2. FDA expects to convene. So that's generally saying that the evidence that they want, they're not necessarily looking for a lot of evidence, but if you bring us a little bit of convincing evidence, we're going to give you this emergency use authorization. And they're doing that despite knowing the risk. One of the risks being what we've all been worried about. If we are going to manufacture this spike inside of us, then we're going to go ahead and manufacture antibodies against that spike. What will happen if our body continues to make that spike when we're exposed to the wild spike? We will be attacked. We will either be attacked or we'll have an inability to react to the new variant. We'll only make antibodies to the one variant that we have. Regardless, I just wanted to include this information.